إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أما بعد عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم آية المنافق ثلاث إذا حدث كذب وإذا وعد أخلف وإذا اؤتمن خان وفي رواية وإذا خاصم فجر. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh reported a hadith referring to the character of the Muslim in particular. Some qualities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only hates, but it is qualities, He tells us it is qualities of hypocrites. And hypocrites are worse than disbelievers. A disbeliever is simply in hell. And hell levels that goes down, darakat. Hypocrites in the lowest, the worst. These three qualities that mentioned in the hadith: number one, lying. When you speak, you lie, including joking. A lot of people think that when you joke, it's okay. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned, قال ويل للذي يحدث القوم أو ويل للذي يحدث فيضحك القول ويل للذي يحدث فيكذب ليضحك القوم. Woe to the person, it's not really our English woe, it's a valley in hellfire. It is a warning from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for severe punishment for the person who jokes, lying, to make people laugh. Can you imagine when you talk about the unseen events in the Day of Judgment? You say Allah said, or Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, or the Day of Judgment, this is what happened, or people in the hellfire do this and that. This is a very, very clear lie, and it talks about the unseen, and sometimes it talks about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you are speaking on His behalf. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ wants you to be truthful, and he said lying is a quality of the hypocrites. And once you lie, you have to lie to back it up. And you continue on doing that until you become a liar. And there is a hadith that says that وَلَا يَزَالُ الْعَبْدُ يَكْذِبْ حَتَّى يُكْتَبَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ كَذَّابًا. You continue to lie, even if it's jokingly, you end up with becoming a habit to lie. So this is number one quality: stay away from lying, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punishes for it, and it's not a quality of a believer. It's a quality of the hypocrite. Second one, إِذَا وَعَدَ أَخْلَفْ. When he promises, he breaks the promise. And how many times do we promise? And how many times we think that, it's not an important thing. Maybe from your perspective, it's not an important thing. If you come and you tell me, Sheikh, are you going to be here tomorrow? You're going to lead the prayer? Yes, inshallah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. To you, maybe, if I see you, I talk. If I don't, no big deal. To me, you want to talk to me. So I keep that promise, thinking about, I wonder what he's going to talk to me. And you'll be thinking about it all day, and then you come the next day and the person is not there. So from your perspective, you may not be thinking this way. And that is what I was talking today and yesterday about this, how different people are when they understand a statement. I can write a statement and give it to him, and I say, what do you get? What do you get? What do you get? I guarantee you will have multiples of different understanding from the same thing. And that's why we have so many problems when we do texting. if you don't put a question mark, your thing differs. If you have a question mark, you're asking. If you don't, you're basically telling the person this is who you are. So lying can be in speaking, it can be in texting, it can be in any form that you are not telling the truth. And promising is the same thing. Insha'Allah is a promise depending how you put it. And that's why our children don't like to hear it from their parents, because they always say insha'Allah and hardly fulfill that. If you say insha'Allah, that means if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, I do it. That means I'm going to do my utmost to do it, unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow me to do it. Yani, I want to come, but there was an accident, or I got called into work, or something like that. And the best way to do this is to get back to the person. And this is to save yourself from lying, and at the same time to have mercy on the person who's going to be suspicious of you, who's going to be probably backbiting you, talking to other people. I was supposed to, a person came, because maybe another person wants to talk to me. What do I tell him? Brother, I have somebody already, can we do it a different time? So you took my time, you took somebody else's time, and you did not really mean it. A lot of people do things like that. So what you need to do is, when you promise, fulfill your promise, or let the person know that you're not too serious. If you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. At the same time, if you're not there, make sure you let the person know, apologize, and tell him why, so he doesn't get the sins of backbiting you, and that is good for you and for him. And don't say insha'Allah unless you really mean it. Because once you say it, I take it seriously. Maybe if the person knows you, it's a different story. But generally, people take it as a serious thing. وَإِذَا تُمِنَ خَانٍ. And if you trust him, he betrays the trust. And the trust can be in money. It can be in time. You work for me. I trust that you work 8 hours. And you have 1 hour free. And then you come and you take more time simply because whatever you think, there was nobody there, you worked extra hard. You know how we justify it to ourselves? I did the job of 2 people, therefore I tell myself I need to take more time off. This is not a trust. The trust is to put that hours regardless. The trust is when I give you something, you bring it or you give it back to me the same way I gave it to you. The trust is to know that you're going to give me that thing. A lot of times people give certain things to people, trusting them for it, and they seize it. And they justify it. You did not come back. I have to store it. I have to do this and that for it. Well, all of that can be accounted for, but it's not a quality to betray the trust. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, awfu bil-uqud. Fulfill your contracts, fulfill your promise, fulfill your oaths. So 3 qualities, stay away from them: lying, breaking your promise, and betraying the trust. And the 4th one, in a different hadith, وَإِذَا خَاصَمَ فَجَرَ. If you fight with a person or you argue with a person, you go overboard. You exceed the limits. The person maybe cussed you with 1 word, you cuss him with 100 words. The person maybe made a mistake with you, you account him as if he killed your father. So this is not a quality of a believer. The quality of the believer is easygoing, easy to forgive, easy to forget, easy to accept the apology. A lot of people do things and they do it wrong and they feel bad. And they come to you, brother, please forgive me. I did not mean this and I did not mean that. Nothing works with some people, as if this is the end of the world. What really hurts is when you sin and you sin and you sin and you keep saying, oh Allah, astaghfirullah, 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 and you guarantee he accepted it. why can't you accept people when they say, forgive me, and you expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you? Why can't you be at least fair? You know, it reminds me of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh, when he punished someone, his relative, his cousin, with a punishment he deserves it. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, forgive him, don't you like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you? Immediately he said yes. And he used to help him before, let's say with $100, he doubled that. He started helping him with 200. Even this is going against yourself. This is fighting yourself. This is striving against your own self. Just like what people say, if you cannot win against your own desires, you expect me to believe you that you're going to win against the enemy? You know yourself and you can't win against it. How can you win against someone you don't know? So make sure you tell the truth, make sure you don't break your promise, make sure you keep your trust, and make sure to be fair with people who do you wrong. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who are believers and to avoid all the qualities of the disbelievers and the qualities of the hypocrites. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله.